Batman has his fancy utility belt and Wolverine's claws are always dangerous, but neither can be compared to the firepower and tech of one of Iron Man's shiny suits. Over the past 5 decades, the Iron Man armor has changed in size, color, and material to suit whatever fight the Golden Avenger finds himself in. These armors have come a long way from what we saw during his debut. Number 1. The one that started it all. Without Jon Favreau's Iron Man, there would be no Tony Stark, and this is the film that offered up the armored Avenger in his crudest and most rudimentary form. As the original story of the beloved hero, this is the film that gives us the basic idea of what Iron Man is at his core. To accomplish that, the film shows us the Mk1 armor. During Tony's imprisonment, which is a bulky walking tank that's mostly used for melee combat but also features some rockets and flamethrowers, plus whatever other weapons he could jerry-rig during his time in the cave. After his escape and his return to Southern California, Tony gets to work in his garage and puts together a couple of different Iron Man suits. The advancements seen in this movie include him figuring out how to prevent ice buildup at high altitudes, changing the color to the now iconic red and gold scheme that we all love, and perfecting the repulsor weaponry. Number 2. Though Tony Stark did make an appearance in The Incredible Hulk, the next appearance of the Iron Man came during the events of Iron Man 2. In this movie, it's all about fine-tuning the weaponry and gadgetry that appeared in the first film. Specifically, Tony's ability to get the armor on and off in a pinch improves considerably, and the inclusion of the modular briefcase suit shows that he's committed to developing more than one version of the armor to suit a particular need, in this case, portability. However, in the third act of the movie, we also see another major improvement to the Iron Man armor design. The main narrative through line of Iron Man 2 is that palladium-based reactor in his chest is killing him, so he eventually gets to work and develops a brand new element to enhance the suit and provide him with a more stable and healthy means of keeping him alive. Though it's not explicitly stated in the movie, this element turns out to be vibranium. Number 3. As the culmination of the Phase 1 movie slate, The Avengers is also the wrap on every advancement seen in the Iron Man to this point. And his ability to fly it around the New York skyline has been honed to a science. Moreover, we see him put the Iron Man 2 armor up against his toughest challenge when he battles Thor in the forest and learns that the Norse god can actually overcharge his Arc Reactor and give him more power. Then there's the later Mk7 suit that he wears during the Battle of New York. There are a number of weapon upgrades in place on this suit, even without the spinning rims that he would have included if he had more time. That said, the biggest things to note about the final Avengers suit is the fact that it was designed to find special homecoming beacons attached to Tony's wrist, and it featured a jetpack stabilizer so he wouldn't constantly need to use his hands for flight. Number 4. The next suit that we see is the suit from Iron Man 3. Traumatized by the attack as seen in the previous film, Tony works really hard to perfect the Mark 42 armor. It is more beige than gold. This take on this could lock to the beacons injected into his body and allow him to fly piece by piece, thus eliminating the need for the briefcase and the wrist homing beacons. Moreover, in the third act of Iron Man 3, we see all the suits developed by Tony Stark. Also, one of the major upgrades was Jarvis, which operated all of the suits simultaneously. Number 5. Speaking of the Hulkbuster suit, we obviously have to point out the fact that Avengers Age of Ultron is the film that debuts the beloved and iconic piece of tech. More of an extension to the standard suit than a full-blown outfit in its own right, the Hulkbuster is an extra layer of armor designed to allow Tony to go toe-to-toe hulked out Bruce Banner in a fight, which definitely seems to come in handy when Wanda Maximoff gets in the green guy's head. The Hulkbuster stands out as a clear showstopper element of Age of Ultron story, but it's not the only advancement that we see in the movie. In fact, the second Avengers movie also offers up a massive shift in MCU status quo by having Tony Stark switch out Jarvis. With his brand new Irish accented artificial intelligence co-pilot Friday. Though Friday hasn't been around in the MCU nearly as long as Jarvis, she has played a massive role in helping Tony defeat a broad range of guys.
He won't escape through there. Sokovia's going for a ride.
Number 6. Captain America Civil War. This movie gave a chance for Tony Stark to shine by showing off his glove, which would also work without the aid of the suit, as the previous gloves couldn't function without it. As for the Iron Man armor itself, Captain America Civil War doesn't feature too many advancements over the Avengers Age of Ultron armor. It's still armed to the teeth and it's still incredibly durable in this film. However, two major features that we see in this film that we don't see in other movies are a full retractable helmet that stores in the back of the armor, as well as software that allows Friday to track, analyze and match the fighting skill of a skilled hand-to-hand combat like Captain America. Number 7. Chronologically speaking, Spider-Man Homecoming takes place directly after the events of Captain America Civil War, which means Tony Stark doesn't have too much time to improvise upon the Iron Man suit. Nevertheless, some noteworthy features were still seen in the greater Marvel Cinematic Universe. Chief among these upgrades is the improved remote function, which allows Tony to operate the suit from halfway around the world. So, that Spider-Man actually thinks that Tony is inside the suit. Well, as of this movie, we don't get to see too many upgrades, but he makes up for the movie by showing us how good the Spider-Man suit was, especially with that AI called Karen, which helped him during many missions, and it was a really cool one. And last but not the least, number 8. Almost certainly the biggest leap in technology that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has ever seen. Right off the bat, we learn that Tony Stark's beacon technology that he used ever since Iron Man 3 is now outdated, as he can manifest the armor at his will using nanotechnology, which similarly materializes over his clothing. The difference here is that Tony's clothing aren't destroyed by the process, making the Iron Man suit even more efficient and practical. It is basically something out of a science fiction movie. Tony can survive trips into outer space with it. He can manifest replacement parts to damaged portions of the suit, and he carries more weapons than ever before and a chassis that seems slimmer and sleeker than ever before. The suit itself is basically perfected at this point, with the only limitation being that Tony cannot access Friday when he leaves Earth's atmosphere. Hope you got to know all of them, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned for more. Peace out.